And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Hello, I'm National Weather Service Meteorologist Peter Chan with your Alaska Aviation Weather Outlook for Sunday into Monday. It is Saturday, April 27th, 2024. And to start off with our briefing here, we look at the flying weather for Sunday morning. And there is an area of low pressure as of this Saturday midday that's off of Haida Gwaii that's just going to kind of pinwheel back off of the west coast here of the Panhandle and then swing back down toward the North Pacific from the southeast corner of the Gulf. We have some lingering, or will have for Sunday morning, IFR conditions through the Bering Strait and along St. Lawrence down through Nunavik Island, the coastline there of the lower Yukon Delta. Much of the interior, though, continuing to see VFR conditions on Sunday. No major weather systems within this region. There is a bigger area of high pressure up in the Arctic Ocean with a ridge that'll be building down into the Arctic coast north slope, and we'll have early in the week a weak low associated with the kind of bit of a front pushing south of the central and eastern Aleutians by late Monday night, early Tuesday morning. But otherwise, the Panhandle and much of the interior mainland here will enjoy VFR conditions through the day Sunday. Still areas of IFR along parts of St. Lawrence, especially over toward Gamble and down along the Yukon Delta coast. Nunavik Island, way west, even west of the westernmost point of the Aleutian, Shimia and Attu. And for Monday morning, could be a little bit of MVFR conditions along the south side of the Brooks Range, out over the Gulf, and then back out over a good portion of the Bering Sea. But again, still generally this kind of springtime pattern. We find a lot of VFR conditions mainland, southeast, and again holding into Monday afternoon, maybe as a result of a few pop-up light rain, snow showers mixed here along the central eastern Brooks Range. There could be some MVFR conditions. Also out over the Gulf, just some MVFR due to some lower cloud cover, and maybe just a smidgen of IFR south of the Alaska Peninsula, and then way out toward the western Aleutian. So makes it pretty easy here coming up. During the day on Sunday, we anticipate VFR conditions throughout that area, central eastern Brooks Range at Adigan, and as well as Anatuvik passes, and as we drop southwestward across the Alaska Range, starting there kind of from the west arm, Lake Clark, Merrill VFR, same thing, rainy, rounding up through Windy Pass, and then eastward through Isabel and Mentasta passes. VFR conditions on Sunday down across the Copper River Basin, VFR, and to the southwest there, Portage Pass, VFR, and then finally throughout the Panhandle, but there at the north end at Chilkoot and White Passes, expect VFR on Sunday. Freezing levels aloft, bump upwards just a little bit above 4,000 feet along the northern Gulf Coast and out here into northwest Canada, kind of the southern part of the Yukon. And then behind me, we find freezing levels rising up to 4,000, 6,000, 8,000 feet as you get just south and southwest of the central Aleutians. So the threat of icing, pretty marginal. There could be a few light snow or snow rain showers mixed here over parts of the southeast, around the mountains of the southeast mainland, and back up here the western part of the Brooks Range. And then out here in the Gulf with that little low that's going to wobble back and kind of go back toward the North Pacific, but stay offshore of the Panhandle. They might find some isolated to a pocket of moderate icing there above 6,000 feet. Now, upper level jet stream winds, look at this, quiet here across the mainland. In some sense, kind of a weak ridge of high pressure. And as we drop down to 9,000 feet, 700 millibars, no strong wind flow. Now, here's at mid-levels, as I said, 700 millibars. Here's that low circulation just off to the west of the Panhandle, Haida Gwaii, 30 to 40 knots there at that level. Behind me, there's a frontal system way out toward the coast of Japan and far southwest corner of the Bering Sea. And then at 3,000 feet, we find that in this area, we have that low pressure circulation with winds as high as 50 knots south of the center of circulation. But a little bit of that could brush the Panhandle. Then out here to the west, a stronger wind field, 45 to 55 knots there along the Kamchatka coast and into the southwest corner there of the Bering. But taking a look at what we have for any turbulence, maybe a little isolated moderate turbulence off of the southwest coast Sunday morning through about midday, surface to 6,000 feet. And then also up along the Arctic coast, just off or along the Arctic coast east of Dead Horse to about Kaktovik, surface to 3,000 feet. So that's about it. Otherwise, pretty benign weather conditions across much of the mainland and panhandle here as we go into the early week.